Here Wesley
Yep.
loses with black, and
He could play it one more time. He just has to play my rookie one move.
meaning Wesley. Yeah, maybe,
Yeah,
right?
that's how you know they're not listening in.
But they're not
because-
listening, exactly. Well, now, okay, are we going to see the same line in the Lopez again? I feel like if Vidit rolls the dice there, which he's on
These
his way to
guys,
doing so.
these guys are stubborn in their openings, and they're very good at it.
And we
And
predicted that this would be two players who were not going to try to hide anything. This match means a lot to them. They're playing the openings that they would expect themselves to play in major events. As Eric already pointed out, Vidit played this position as black against Team Russia where he won. But I just love this
drew as
position
black.
for
He
white.
drew comfortably. No, he didn't win. He just drew comfortably, but that was what he was supposed to do
Right.
against.
Oh, I hate this position for black. I really, really do. I mean, my queen's coming to d3. I'm pushing Harry, right? It doesn't take a wizard to realize we got magic happening over here on the king side.
Yeah, the pieces are on funny squares. Like a net on g5, just chilling is not something I'm
Yeah.
used to. It can obviously be undermined, as you said, with h4, but we can wait to play h4. We have full.
Wesley, by the way, has more than 5 minutes now. So
Yeah. Do you enjoy doing that? Do you, when you know an opening, do you enjoy playing so quickly you gain time just to show like, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I know this, I've studied this.
Oh, yeah.
Like this,
no, for sure, and it doesn't happen to me often online. But I mean, back when I was as real of a chess player as I ever was, one of my best memories of that was winning a game in the Najdorf that was from start to finish prep, and it was one of those games where I think on move 27, my opponent is under 5 minutes, right, to make 13 moves, and I had about an hour and 56 minutes on the clock. Like, I really made the point. I was just like, so that was probably the best example of that. I'm sure you have more than I do, but it doesn't happen that often, right? So you got to do it.
for us, you mean? For these guys,
For
I
these
think
guys, yeah.
that's why they're showing off. Yes, I am reading the chat. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
We're both reading the chat. We see we can't engage with every comment, especially all the non-positive ones. But all right, this is I'm genuinely surprised by this. Now Wesley taking his time, but I still think that you made a good point that regardless of Vidit's practical perspective of whether he feels this is a position he can play OTB, that's the stubborn thing, right? When you've prepared the position, you believe an engine can take the pawn and defend, so I should be able to do it. Then you play it in blitz, and it's a lot harder to play positions where your king is exposed for 20 moves when you don't have a lot of time.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, I mean that pawn can't move backwards on g6, so you definitely have this open king for as long as these bishops are still alive and maybe the queen's on the board. White has tactics that black always has to watch out
Yeah.
for.
Okay, at least in this case, he's prevented h4 for now. Harry not bringing the magic tricks to g6 just yet. But now you've got a potential. What about queen e2? Okay, there's knight d4.
Yeah. I would probably just play bishop d2 and bishop d3, stabilize, and then maybe double my rooks on the e file. I'm not too ambitious here because actually, if I win the b pawn, then I've regained my material and I have the bishop pair and I have the outside passed pawn. So just bishop d2, bishop b3.
No, I love your bishop e2, and partly because it also threatens queen e2.
Sip of coffee, just nice and chill, stable. I wouldn't think too much. I would just. It's fun in chess when you grab a piece, but you only move it one square and you look all professional. Like you just gently push it up the board, and it's like
that's a bit of a surprise there. He's gonna.
He still likes the outside pass pawn.
Yeah.
Still likes the loose. Well, yeah, this is better if Vidit doesn't even take the bishop pair, which I'm not saying he necessarily had to. That Wesley's recovered his material at the minimum, and he's got a position to work with. Yep. Outside pass pawns here are big, especially when there's queens on the board. Black's king's a little bit unsafe.
Yep.
That this.
No, you make a great point, right?
The d pawn is black's pass pawn, but by pushing the d pawn past d5, you've opened up the g8 to a2 diagonal.
Yeah.
And with the queens on the board, that's a very risky proposition. So I think it's definitely not equal, despite the material. Black is suffering here.
I'm still biased toward the last win, though, I guess, given that I feel like Wesley did it in such a nicer fashion with kingside attack that I feel like this is a bit of a win for black to be this situation. I liked your initial suggestion of bishop b2 preventing this knight from getting to d4 earlier. So, Hikaru Nakamura joining us in the Chess TV chat. He asked what's going on here. and says Wesley's not winning big, so he's surprised.
No. Hello, Hikaru.
Hikaru getting ready for
You
his
think
match on Thursday versus Maxime.
Do you think Hikaru will say hello? Hi.
I don't know if Hikaru
Hi.
listens to our commentary.
Yeah.
I
No?
have caught him listening to our commentary once or twice where I said something like awkward enough for him
Yes,
to
and
respond
he's gonna be like, "What are you talking
right, and
about?"
then he responded. Right, most of the time I think his kind of job is to ignore us. So anyway, we'll see if Hikaru's listening right now. All right, well, Wesley's still better. Obviously, the B better than the D for the reasons you highlighted. Not just is it outside, but the D pawn pushing comes with consequences.
Yeah, I mean, for Wesley here, doesn't need to rush the position. I think what he's doing is good. Keeping at least the pair of rooks on the board, pushing the B pawn, and ideally I'd actually want to keep more pieces on the board. Okay, so Vidit traded.
Yeah.
Queen D3 again.
Getting a question from one of the players about how much time is left in our private conversation. We'll inform them.
Would you guys consider, I don't know if there's already the system when you can click to follow a player, and whenever they log on, sort of like in this case, like a wild Hikaru has been spotted, there's a noise that I've been on, you know what I mean? Like a noise when someone comes, maybe there already is that, but like.
Well, we recently launched the sort of the hero follow feature where those people that, so there are title players, right? But since we kind of got rid of title player alerts because we just have had too many, and it led to the infamous Title Tuesday crashes of 2018, we now have only about 15 players that in our mind have earned hero status. Guess who's on there? Mr. Eric Hansen.
Ooh.
So anybody that follows you on chess.com, if they follow your profile, if you simply log into live chess, if you start playing games, if you post an article, a video, people get alerts. And so Hikaru is on that list, obviously.
I like the sound of this.
And kind of like our celebrity, call it like the blue check mark of Twitter, right? And so we don't currently have sound effects. Like Hikaru logs on and it makes like a monkey noise or a giraffe in the wild or so. I don't know. But I like this idea. So if any of our staff members are listening, I like the idea of sound effects for our heroes. Maybe you could choose your own sound effect.
Yes, custom. Custom is good.
Okay. I like it. All right, well, Vidit has, we got a little distracted there with the wild Hikaru sighting, but Vidit has defended this position very well and proving me wrong for repeating. I'm not sure he holds, but...
Yeah. No, he's putting up counterplay. I think Wesley stays the course, keep the pieces on, push the B pawn. So right now, probably bishop A5, B6, B7. Black's going to have to play D4 at some point, but that does open up a basket of tactics. So D4, I play B6, and it's going to be a bit of a race. But
when I log in, it would make a donkey noise. Okay, I was just kidding. Don't get too. I love people finding things to get offended about. Sorry. Anyway, all right. Yeah. Say that last part again. Are we really?
I'm saying that he's doing a good job. That just keep pieces on and play B6. Black is running out. He's playing very well, but it's hard to maintain this pace. At some point, you just want to play your pawn to D4 because White's slowly making progress on the B file, and Black needs some counterplay here. But as soon as that diagonal opens up, look for some tactics involving Black's king. So I just think B6, B7. If I'm Black here, I feel like my queen should be on D5, but I'm not sure how I can maybe cheat that. So maybe I still play D. Maybe we do have some line like that, but no, like D4 and queen D5. I don't see what the formation is to defend here. It might be some sort of. I almost want to play G5, G4, so that if White were ever to take with the H pawn, I have the H file to mate. And if I take with the F pawn, I play F3, and then my queen goes to G3. But
that's a brilliant idea. I really like that. He's the biggest issue whether he comes up with your G5 idea or decides he can risk D4. He's just taking a lot of time.
Yeah, well, it didn't work because White had this idea of B6, B7, and queen takes E8 check, and it's promoting. There's all these tempos that.
Right.
The queen D4 makes some sense. You might want to, okay.
But now, bishop C7, very nice move before pushing the B pawn to ensure control over this E5 diagonal for Black.
That might just be over. I mean, this endgame was really hard to hold, in my opinion.
I still feel
So
like your last idea. I'm backing up on the analysis board because I liked it that much. I feel like from a practical perspective, like
yeah,
you said, the endgame can't be hold. Look at this idea Eric was saying: G5 and G4. You take with the
yeah,
H pawn, you have all these moves like Queen F6, and the queen comes to the H file. And if you take with the F pawn, you have F3 and Queen G3. And so even if there's not a forced, maybe there's a way for white to defend. Those are the kind of ideas that can save you quick games, right?
yes, especially in Bullet or something.
Yeah.
In Blitz against Wesley, he's one of the harder guys to pull us off on, but otherwise, I was just looking for something.
I feel like I was just watching like some chess brawl highlight video, and you did something like that and saved a lost position. So, and no, it's instructive nonetheless, everyone, because what happens is it tells you to always think about what the weaknesses are in your opponent's position. You don't recognize tactics like that unless you're aware of the weak dark squares around the king. You're aware of the bishop guarding g1 and the h-file mating net. So, it shows you're able to see things like that as you are just very aware of all the potential tactical resources. So, but okay, this is just over now.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out, do I play rook d2, king f2, and then if the king ever goes to d5, I just put my bishop on f6. But
I think
either
that's what
way,
he'll do.
he can slow roll this rook d2 and maybe bring the king to c1. Okay, this works. How do you win the d3 pawn? You don't have to, but maybe I'm wondering is because he does need to keep some material on the board. Ah, okay.
Hikaru wondering if I was reading him in Chess TV. Sorry, I was responding. But
you see that, guys? He gets priority service.
Priority service for Nakamura.
Danny doesn't reply to us. He doesn't reply to us like that.
Anyway, well, all right. This has just been a matter of time, literally, because the game ends on the clock. But all right, enough for Wesley to regain a